Hi everyone! Today we are going to be talking about inputs and outputs and how those inputs and outputs can represent relations or relationships to see how those go together. So first of all, we want to talk about what is an input and what is an output in math. Well, it has to do with graphing. So ordered pairs like x and y can be used to show an input or an output. So ordered pairs x and y can be used to show inputs, meaning using substitution to solve or to find an answer. So input substitution, there we go. And then we get an output. Can be used to show inputs with substitution and outputs, which are the answers. All right, so let's talk a little bit more. Let's say I have an x and my y value. So I have an x value and I have a y value. If I were to solve a problem and I put in 0, let's say then that whatever that problem is, let's say it's x plus 1, my output then would be a positive 1. If my x was 0 and I did 0 plus 1, I would then have an output of 1, or y would equal 1. So in this case, my input is 0, and then my output is 1 when we say that y equals x plus 1. If I put in 0, I get y equaling 1. So whatever value I substitute in for x is going to give me some kind of a y value. Okay, let's use this same equation, and let's say that in this one, my input is 1, and then we'll discover what my output is. So my ordered pair here, if my x was 1, what is my y going to be? Well, my y value would be y equals 1 plus 1, so y equals 2. My output is 2. So let's go ahead and label these. My input, it's what I use to substitute, gives me my output or my y. So my input is my x value, my output is my y value. So we can use ordered pairs to find a relation. Okay, so we can use these to find a relation. A relation is just pairing up or putting together what the input and the output is. So if I tell you that x equals 0, you're going to find out what its match is. Okay, so a relation matches the inputs and the outputs. So let's do our next. So relations match the input to the output. And we can do this in two different ways. We can match inputs and outputs two different ways. You can either use ordered pairs. Or you can use a mapping. It's called a mapping diagram. So you can use either of these things. Okay, so we know ordered pairs, right? So ordered pairs, we have x is 0, our output is 1. If our x is 1, our output was 2. If our input was 2, our output up here, or in a different one, this is using a different strategy, sorry, is going to give us 4. Okay, so we're using a different equation here. Our output, so these ones here, these are going to be called ordered pairs. We know ordered pairs. Okay, or you can use what we call a mapping diagram. So mapping diagram. A mapping diagram takes all of the inputs. So here's our inputs. Let's say we had 0, we had 1, and we had 2. And it pairs it up with the outputs. 1, 2, and 4. And it will match them using an arrow. Okay, so you have ordered pairs here. And we have mapping diagram. So our job today is we are going to look at some relations in a mapping diagram, and we are going to take those and identify the ordered pairs. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to identify the input and the output for ordered pairs. So I'm going to turn my page now so that I can write out your example. So go ahead and hit pause so that you can finish writing this out. And when you're ready, hit play so you can turn the page. All right. So my first example that I have of a mapping diagram looks like this. Okay. It says that in my diagram, so this is example A, the input values of the mapping diagram are 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are my inputs. It then says that my output values are 3, 6, 9, and 12. So 3, 6, 9, and 12. I have a mapping diagram. My job is to write down what the ordered pairs are. So it shows that 1 is matched to 3, 2 is matched to 6, 3 is matched to 9, and 4 is matched to 12. So my ordered pairs are 1 and 3, 2 and 6, 3 and 9, and 4 and 12. So we're just taking the mapping diagram and we are turning it into ordered pairs. All right, let's do another example. Okay, so this example that they give you shows a mapping diagram that looks like this. The input is 0, 2, and 4. The output is 1, 0, -2, and 3. And then the arrows that are drawn like this. 0, 0 matches to 0. Sorry, it got crazy there. And then it says 2 is matched to 1, but 2 is also matched to negative 2. And then it says that 4 is matched to negative 3. So our job now is to create some ordered pairs. We're going to create ordered pairs just by following the lines. So when I look at this, I can see that 0 goes to 0. So my x value is 0. That means that my y value is then going to be 0. So my first ordered pair is 0, 0. My second ordered pair, when x is 2, it equals 1. So I'm going to write 2, 1. It also says that when x is 2, y is also negative 2. So this value 2 has two different outputs. And last but not least, 4 to 3. So from this one, because there's 4 lines, we needed to have 4 different ordered pairs. So even though there were only 3 input values, we were able to reuse this 2 different times for x. All right, let's do another example. Let's do another example. We're going to call this one example C. And again, this one is going to do the same thing where it has 2 lines drawn to the same number. Okay, so our input values for x are 1, 2, and 3. It says then my output, my y values, give me 0, 4, -5, and -6. And so this mapping diagram has arrows that are drawn in 2 different places. 1 is paired to 4, 2 is paired to 0, and 2 is also paired to -5. And then it says 3 can be paired to -6. So let's go ahead and do our ordered pairs. So the ordered pairs that we can create from this one, just follow the arrows. I start at 1, I hit the 4. So I have 1, 4. That's my first ordered pair. My second one, my input or my x value is 2. My output or my y value is 0. So 2, 0. Then I have 2 again, because there's 2 arrows coming off of it. But this time I get -5 as my output. And then last but not least, 3 and -6. Okay, so now it's your turn to use a mapping diagram. So your try it today. You're going to use a mapping diagram to tell me what are the ordered pairs. So let's do your try-its. So your try-its look like this. You're going to have a mapping diagram that shows an input of 0, 2, 4, and 6. Output says 12, 10, 8, and 6. 12, 10, 8, and 6. And then in this problem, your mapping diagram shows the arrows going straight across. So that is try-it number 1. In try-it number 2, this one is weird. Okay, your inputs are only 1 and 2. But your outputs are going to be -1, -2, -3, and -4. And it looks like the arrows are drawn 2 per number. All right, so your job now is to hit pause so that you can identify the ordered pairs. So right now you're looking for ordered pairs. All right. In the first example, 0 is paired with 12, so my input is 12, my output gives me 12, x and y. Next one is 2, 10. This one, 4 is matched to 8. And last but not least, 6 is matched to 6. In our next one, our next example, we have 1 matched to -1. So there is one ordered pair. 1 is matched to -1. 1 is also matched to -2. We then have 2 to -3 and 2 to -4. So those are our ordered pairs. All right, go ahead and check your work and then write your level of understanding, answer your essential question. How do we list ordered pairs of relations? So how do we use a mapping diagram to create ordered pairs? So answer your essential questions somewhere on your paper, and then out to the side, go ahead and rate your level of understanding. How do I go from a mapping diagram to ordered pairs? All right, it is your turn now to do some practice work. So if you have questions, you can head on back to the Google Meet and ask for help, or you can head on off to do some big ideas practice work. As always, I appreciate all of your hard work and effort, and make it a great day.